that second one's very cool, where someone, you know, who you've connected with overseas finds you or whatever, and that's what I found is that, you know, you might not see or meet someone for a year or 2 years and you've got this following, but when you do, it's kind of like you already know each other.
Yeah, exactly. And when they can actually play back to you things that you've been talking about or that you're feeling passionate about, and then they have, you know, the conversation starts as if it's already existed previously. And I think that's the connection, that engagement that you get with people, because you've been having this conversation with them online anyway.
Can we just drill down a little bit into the specifics of what you're doing? So let's start with LinkedIn. Obviously, it's important. Not sure how many you've got on LinkedIn. You're obviously, there's the school of thought that you should only link in with the people who you've met, and then there's the other school of thought where, well, let's expand it with people who are interested in the same space. So here's someone you've linked in, you've obviously never met. How much of that do you do?
My belief is that I link with people that want to connect with me, even if I haven't met them, as long as they're clearly in the space and there's something I have to contribute to them. So, you know, if I get a real estate agent or someone like that I'm not sure about what the connection is and I think they're just adding me to get numbers up, then I won't accept that invitation. But anyone in the marketing, advertising, comms area, more than happy to have that connection with them. As far as what I use it for is to actually connect with people that I had even email interactions with or phone call or met at conferences and things like that, because I find it's an invaluable way of me keeping a track of the network of people that I meet.
And whether they're moving jobs or what they're doing.
What they're doing, and you know, their updates. You know, it's amazing to be able to, when I'm going, for instance, I'm off to New York next week, and I can go into LinkedIn and sort my contacts by people living in New York and send them messages saying, I'm going to be in New York between these dates. Are you around so we can catch up? Great way of managing all of those contacts.
And no need for business cards these days.
No, but it's interesting. I think business cards are still a tangible way, whether people just take them and put them into their diary or make sure they've got update. But you're right. A lot of people are really concerned about privacy, and so LinkedIn's a great way of being able to send someone an email, but very few people actually share their other contact details online.
So how many times would you put up and do an update in LinkedIn?
10 times a day.
10 times a day?
Yeah.
Okay. Not 8, not 12.
No. Look, I regularly tweet about things that I either read about or hear about, but I'm very conscious of not wanting to fill people's either LinkedIn or Twitter stream. So I actually use Buffer as a way of being able to space that out, you know, so that it's not like you'll go online and suddenly there'll be 12 things or 15 things from me all in a row. It means that, you know, I can still be actively looking for and the things I'm curious about I can share without actually over swamping people
so
with
that's
content.
bufferapp.com, would that be? Where you can schedule your tweets in advance.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn now, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, so you use that to do both.
Yeah.
Okay. What other mechanisms? Blog is probably your digital heartbeat, would that be fair?
Our content is driven by the blog, and so the blogs are things that I'm passionate about or are topical, and you know we have a point of view on. So I blog, you know, we schedule and I try and blog 3 times a week. And I think that's important to have those regular updates. I mean, if there's nothing to say, then I won't blog. But believe me, there's more than enough content. You know, I've probably got enough, you know, at least to publish for the next 2 or 3 months.
So, and YouTube, you do a fair bit of video, do you?
Yeah, look, YouTube and video content is really important because it actually brings a lot of these concepts to life. So when I do speaking engagements, if possible, I'll get the video from that. We do a lot of interviews with our clients and also with agencies to get feedback and testimonials about the processes and the strategy that we bring to the party. And the other content area we use a lot is SlideShare. So in fact I did a PowerPoint presentation about the top 10 ways marketers waste money. That's had about 1,600 views in about 3 months. So you know, it's really finding ways of creating content. Well, I create content anyway. It's finding the ways of making it easy and convenient for people to be able to actually find that content and use it the way they want to.
So what's next? Is there any, you know, you're not an ad hoc kind of a guy. This is all pretty well planned out. You know the topics that you speak about, what's of interest to your clients and the people in your community. Just run us through a bit about, speaking of community, of who are your followers? Has that changed over the journey?
Yeah, look, when we decided to move to online, there was a whole lot of questions we asked about, you know, target audience. We were using traditional marketing terms like target audience, and we were saying, well, the people that will usually engage our services are senior marketers or perhaps procurement people working in that space. But we didn't want to go out and try and reach those people or target those people. So we decided what we'd do is create the content and make that available and then see who was interested in it. And it's been really quite interesting to watch that community sort of evolve or coalesce into a real profile, because we're actually getting a lot more people that work in, say, agencies, you know, media, creative, public relations, digital agencies that are interested in what we have to say. Because I don't think there's a category for what we do. You know, it's not like in the whole gamut of marketing services, we fulfill very specific needs in that. So just to say we're targeting marketers, we're not relevant to every aspect of marketing. We're relevant to very specific areas. And so by the content being focused on those specific areas, people are coming to us when they have a need or when they have an interest in what we have to say. And so that community's evolved from, here's the content, now let's see who's interested and who shares that. And also watching what people share, you know, and really doing that analysis. We do a huge amount of just tracking what content gets shared. Some people just go and, you know, they'll click on links, others will retweet stuff. And it's that informs me about what the interest is in that community.
And I suppose by having the blog is housed on your website, so people coming to your blog, therefore, that they giving them a reason to come to your website?
Yeah, the website, in fact, we restructured the website, first of all, because we found that people before were coming to it and not really sure how to navigate it. Most of the traffic to the website is actually through the blog, and then we're finding that people go from the blog, they want to know more about what we do. And I think that's an interesting you know, paradigm that we've created there, is that it's the content that's the attraction, and then they'll go and find out more from the website. We've created the website so they can quickly navigate where they want to go to find that information based on who they are.
And repurposing with video, etc. So you've got so your blog, your website, you've got two Twitter accounts, one under your personal name and also the business name.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
SlideShare. YouTube. And that's it.
That's the combo that works for you?
At the moment, yeah. Oh, we've got a Facebook page as well. We've got a TrinityP3 Strategic Marketing Management page, which is about what, you know, basically takes content and puts it into a platform for people that want to follow us there. We've got about 700 followers.
So is it the combination that works for you? I mean, LinkedIn versus Facebook, could you pick between the two, or just the fact that different people access different, you know, use different platforms, and you've just got to be out there and across multiple platforms to be able to channel that content out there?
Everyone has different ways that they want to access information. So, you know, for instance, LinkedIn, it's the people that have gone there because they're interested in, you know, what's your profile or who you are or what you're doing, and then they're seeing the updates, which is basically these are the things that I'm interested in or I'm doing at the moment. Facebook takes content often that is also on the blog or is on Twitter, but it puts it in more a, well, let's discuss this, or what are the issues? It gives it a different context, because I think Facebook's where people are sitting there going, so what's going on in my life and what's going on in the, with the people around me? So you have to present it in a different context. But there's some people who much prefer that compared to just following a Twitter feed or going to LinkedIn and searching. So it provides the content in a way that you know, is best for them.
And with LinkedIn, do you do much on the discussion groups?
Yeah, but look, to be honest, there's some really great discussion groups and there's some really bad discussion groups. And I think it's about how those discussion groups are, for want of a better word, curated. I think there's too many discussion groups that have been set up purely as a way of a handful of people basically creating another broadcast channel, compared to those where they actually curate them as a discussion group, you know, where they're actively inviting people to participate in that. And I think, you know, there needs to be, LinkedIn need to do something to really give you a measure of which one is it, and that should be the number of posts compared to the number of actual comments or responses to it overall.
That's a good
would
point.
Be a really good measure, so you can quickly get that sense rather than spending a lot of time trying to work that out for yourself.
It's a good point. It could take you a long time to find out which groups are doing well. And finally, I believe you're a bit of a Foursquare nut. You don't mind the Foursquare? Tell us the story behind that.
Okay, well, because I travel so much, I got into Foursquare about 2.5 years ago, and I really liked the fact that I could check in and you know, have that to go, you know, choose to whether that goes to my Facebook or goes to Twitter or whatever, to allow my friends to know where I was and what I was up to. But it wasn't until I was actually in New York, and I was staying at the Giraffe Hotel on Park Avenue South, and there's a whole lot of restaurants around there, and I actually got onto Foursquare and saw what was in the area, and I started reading the tips. And there was this great Mexican restaurant next door, but all the commentaries, and you know, really crowded and going off, but all the commentary was it was a pickup place. And then about 2 doors down was a French restaurant that just had rave reviews about the food and the quality. So I'll let you guess which one I went to.
Oui.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to finish off with one more question. What would be 3 tips for anyone who's, well, let's keep it to B2B, anyone who's an expert and trying to build more authority and credibility in what it is in their space? In terms of content marketing, what are the 3 things that you think that they should be looking out for?
Okay. The first thing is, don't go into it with preconceptions about what the audience, your community, actually wants to know. You know, participate, listen, and participate in those conversations, and then put content in there and see whether it's content. You know, test and learn about that group. The second is to actually, and it's like the first, but it's make it available in any way that people actually want it to be available. You know, just because it's convenient for you to use a particular channel doesn't necessarily mean that it's convenient for everyone. Everyone has different ideas. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to give away what you might feel is your IP, because in actual fact this is a transaction in a way, and you giving away your IP or your knowledge or expertise or advice is exactly the cost of them participating in and being engaged with you.
Darren Woolley, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.